Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to interpret reading assessment data on Dossier. Once you've logged in, you can go into the student profile. You'll see this page in which you'll go into the reports. This page will bring up a list of the menu, and then you'll click into the reading assessment. On this page you'll see the filters as well as the graph. With the filters, we can choose specific data that we want to see. So with a report, we can look at the results or the pre and post reports. The school year has been defaulted to this year, 2021, to 2022. The school, some of us are able to see all the schools, some of us can see only our school. This may or may not be a filter that's available to you. I'm going to leave this as looking at all the schools, so division-wide. And then grade 7 is what we have that's populated here, but you can choose grade 10 for when we enter data in the future, and the report will be available. The period, this is your pre and post assessment, so you can either look at your pre-assessment or the post assessment for the reading results. And the data, it's defaulted to score. Score means the total number of points that the student scored in this assessment. You can also filter it by question. So Q1 to 6 means questions 1 to 6. Now I'm going to leave my filter as is, so we're looking at the pre-data for the grade 7s for reading assessment in the year 2021 to 2022, and we're looking at all the schools. Now I'm going to scroll down. This is the score, so the total score that students have scored in the division. The x-axis is the number of points they scored. So because there were 6 questions with 4 points maximum each, that's 6 times 4, so 24 points is the max a student can score. And this is the number of students that scored however many points is down here. So we see a bit of a bell curve. The top of our bell curve will be the 14 points, with a total of 36 students scoring 14 points. The bolded numbers here is the number of students. You can also click into the bar graph, in which Dossier will show you a list of students who did score 14. You can export this data into an Excel sheet or export it to a PDF. The other thing you could do, if you need to, is to export this graph as an image, and you can download it as a certain file type. Okay, so now we're going to look at the pre and post reports. So here our filter is going to remain relatively the same, but you'll see that we don't have the ability to choose whether we're looking at pre-data or post-data, and that's because we are looking at both in one graph. So in this graph, I'm looking at only question 1, and I'm looking at the grade 7 for 2021-2022. So on the left, you have the pre-assessment data. On the right, you have the post-assessment. So these lines represent change. And then again, on the y-axis, you will see the number of students. If you hover over this legend, you can see that the lines are bolded depending on which part of the legend you're hovering over. Now I'm going to pick a line and explain what it means. So let's pick this yellow line right here. So if I hover over this line, this point in the line, I'm looking at the pre-assessment. The pre-assessment point right here shows me that I'm looking at the students, the number of students who have scored 2. So I have 116 students who scored 2 on question 1 in the pre-assessment. If I go over here, I can then compare it that 117 students scored 2 on question 1 in the post-assessment, so not too much of a change. You can also click into this point over here, in which it will give you a list of students who scored 2 in the post-assessment. I'll do another explanation with a different line. So here I'm looking at 4. So the number of students who scored 4 in the pre-assessment for grade 7 on question 1 is 46. And then I can move over here. The number of students who scored 4 in the post-assessment is 32. And again, if you click on it, on the points, this will then bring up the data of the name of the students who scored 4 in the pre-assessment for grade 7. Again, you can export to Excel, you can export to PDF, and if you're doing any reporting, you can also download this graph as a JPEG or PDF. So this is how you interpret the data on Dossier. If you have any other questions, please let me know. If you have concerns or see any errors or discrepancy that you think, oh, that might be a little off, please let me know in the email, and I will reach out to the right people to make sure that your issue gets solved. Have a great day.